Which of Trump's economic policies are being blamed for the current doom and gloom?
Oh, the part where he and his rich little friends take all our money.
But what was the policy that, like, how do you...
I'll explain the policy. Trump and his rich little friends take all our money.
I feel like...
Got it. Why didn't you say it like that? The answer is it's mostly inconsistency around Trump's tariffs.
It's like, you know, he puts the tariff in, he puts the tariff out, he puts the tariff in, he puts the tariff out, then he does the hokey pokey, and he turns us all around.
Tariff to the left, tariff to the right.
Hands on your knees, hands on your knees.
Everybody tariff wine.
Oh, we are black tonight.
Now, how's Trump's economic team defending the president's chaotic trade policies?
They're lying.
Here's Trump's Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick.
This fucking guy.
Will these policies be worth it if they lead to a recession, even a short-term recession?
These policies are the most important thing America has ever had.
Here's a fun fact from Friday to share at parties.
As of last night, more than $5 trillion in value had been wiped from the markets in just 3 weeks. More money than the GDP of every country on Earth, other than the U.S. and China.
We can lose more than most countries have? I feel great about that. We're #1, baby.
Social Security is under attack from Trump's DOGE cuts, with the result being the website crashing 4 times in 10 days this month, and hold times, if you call them, are 4 or 5 hours. On Tuesday, the Senate held confirmation hearings for Trump's new Social Security Director nominee, Frank Bisignano, clearly hired because he already has a crime boss name. And Frank was questioned about Social Security's recent issues by one of the oldest Americans of all time.
When you have a system that is not working now, do you think it's a great idea to lay off half of the employees?
I don't know if, do I think it's a great idea to lay off half of the employees when a system doesn't work? I think the answer is probably no.
Is he being played by Joe Pesci?
Yeah.
They are trying to crash the system because they know people love Social Security, and the best way to end it is to make it not work.
Does anyone know what Trump's billionaire Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, said about people who complain if they don't get their Social Security checks?
Howard Lutnick said correctly that if his mother-in-law misses a check, she won't complain.
Let's say Social Security didn't send out their checks this month. My mother-in-law, who's 94, she wouldn't call and complain.
Yeah, because he's a fucking billionaire.
Public records suggest that Lutnick's mother-in-law lives with him in his $15 million Upper East Side Manhattan townhouse, meaning she's unlikely to be relying on Social Security for rent or mortgage payments. Honestly, I think if you have to live with Howard Lutnick, you should be entitled to compensation. Now, we have all these tariffs in place from America. Question, what can countries affected by these changes do?
Buy Trump's meme coin?
I feel like as a sitting congressman, I kind of want you to have a better response.
The whole country does.
What can other countries do to try and push back on this, or is this just bullying they have to deal with from the U.S.?
Well, you know what they're doing? They're going to China. They're saying, okay, you don't want us, we'll go to China. You know how hard it is for someone to get Japan and South Korea to say we want to be friends with China? Donald Trump has done the impossible. China's going to nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick had his own answer to that question.
If you're angry and you fight back to the greatest customer in the world, you're going to lose. We are the sumo wrestler of this world. We are the biggest economy, the biggest customer. Okay. You can't fight back against your customer.
That just sounds like what white women say when they're getting dragged out the store. I own this Bath and Body Works. Hours before the tariffs kicked in, President Trump spoke at a fundraising dinner and bragged about ongoing trade war negotiations. What was his claim?
That he was not going to back off of them.
Okay. He did say that. He tripled down and was like, I'm doing it, I'm really, really doing it.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are
They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
Please, baby, I'll do anything. Question, does anyone know the ultimate end game of these tariffs?
Did you see how happy he looked when he was like, everybody's calling me? No one calls him on the phone. That was the end goal. This man wants human contact. Someone call him on the phone.
Here's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick explaining the gain we'll be getting from our pain.
Remember, the army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones, that kind of thing is going to come to America. It's going to be automated.
We're back, baby! We're gonna lead the world in screwing, yes!
Let's get it on. Who's this offender?
Oh. That's Howard Lutnick. Lutnick. Nick Nut. Lucklick.
Nick Nuts.
Nick Nuts.
Howie Nick Nuts.
Lutnick, yes.
Right.
Yes. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, a man whose hair could be best described as tariff in the front, party in the back. Who did Howard Lutnick offend?
I know the answer to this one, and it's kind of juicy.
Ooh.
Oh, should we
You
have a
know
little
this one?
gossip sesh?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So,
Go on.
y'all, Howard Lutnick was on a show, and somebody asked him if he'd ever met Jeffrey Epstein. And he was like, And he said, I met one time, and I went to his house, and there was a massage table there, and I thought it was creepy, so I got out right away. But he thinks that there was video cameras in that massage room, and there's videotapes of all kinds of crazy billionaires, maybe like the one that he works for, that might have videotape of him.
Ooh.
But you didn't hear it from me.
Points. Yeah. Howard Lutnick offended Donald Trump by talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
It's Sergeant Epstein to you.
Here's Lutnick describing the first, and he says, only time he met his neighbor of 10 years and what he saw in the unit.
He gives me a tour, and he opens the doors, and there's a massage table in the middle of the room. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me. Ooh. And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Every day.
Yikes.
Lutnick says he clocked Epstein as a pervert immediately and never hung out with him again. The question, according to Lutnick, why didn't other powerful people stop hanging with Epstein? Watch the clip.
So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw?
No, they participated.
Right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmailed people.
Imagine listening to this on a podcast, and it's just a dude in your ear going, yeah, there was tapes, and it was a massage table, and it was crazy, and it was freaky, and now a word from Better Health. Now, they say that there's tapes, so if you're wondering where the tapes are, so was the New York Post.
So what happened to those videos?
I assume way back when, they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender.
It sounds like what he's saying is the tapes are currently in the possession of the Department of Justice. Oh, did I say that?
And to that point, Democrats in oversight are now calling on Lutnick to testify about what he knows. So I'm not sure if Lutnick meant to drop such a huge bombshell on a podcast like that, and dropping bombshells like it's nothing, or as our esteemed CNN colleague put it,
Did he mean to talk about this?
Don't just go back to the picture. It's the last frame of Laura Coates. She's Laura Coates like, baby, I don't think you should be saying this on TV, baby.
And smirking like a little creep while you say it, too.
2008 was the year Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to solicitation of prostitution with a minor and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. So if people hang out with Jeffrey Epstein before 2008, maybe he's just a weird rich guy. But if people hang out with him after 2008, they're hanging out with a dude who admitted to soliciting sex with kids. So let's start off easy. Who is that?
Howard Lutnick.
Yeah, that's Trump's Commerce Secretary, and he kind of looked like your mama's first boyfriend after a divorce. We've talked previously on the show about Lutnick and the whole relationship with Epstein. They lived next door to him. And so in 2005, he had a little chit-chat with Epstein. 2005. Is that before or after 2008?
Before.
Yes, it is before. So maybe Lutnick didn't know what Epstein was up to. And here's what Lutnick most famously said about his 2005 visit with Epstein.
My wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Good for him.
That's right.
You know what? I'm revising my opinion about Howard Lutnick. Here I thought this guy was just a greasy, grifting, corrupt, money laundering commerce secretary. But now I know that he's a man of high moral fiber. Roy?
Here's CBS News with the answer.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick arranged a visit to Epstein's island with his wife and children in 2012, after which Epstein passed along this message to Lutnick. Nice seeing you.
Okay, but 2012 is before 2008, like we said, right?
Like, why would you, hey man, nice seeing you. Like, you would never email your drug dealer after buying the drug. Hey, thank you for the drugs again. Bondi wasn't the only Trump administration official to testify about Epstein this week. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick answered questions about his relationship with the apex pedophile before a congressional committee this week. What did Howard have to say about his association with Epstein?
That it was nothing. Why are you talking about it? It barely knows the guy. Yes, they spent a lot of time together.
Here's Lutnick.
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children.
He knows how bad it is because he felt the need to say that he left with his children. If I go to a friend's house for lunch with my kids and I'm telling somebody about it, I then don't say, and my children left too. Hey, are you a fan of Have I Got News For You? Then subscribe to our channel. Tap the subscribe button and click the bell while you're at it to stay up to the minute on our latest videos.